What if I told you that a single play in a WNBA game sparked a firestorm of controversy over race, accountability, and the power of social media? Let me break it down for you. Here's a scenario: a player gets ejected for a flagrant foul, posts a provocative message online, and suddenly the entire league is forced to confront uncomfortable truths about bias, intent, and the line between protest and provocation. Sound familiar? Well, that's exactly what happened in Chicago last week, and it's a case study in how sports can become a lightning rod for societal tensions. Let's start with the play itself. DiJonai Carrington, a black player for the Chicago Sky, was called for a flagrant 2 foul on Sophie Cunningham, a white player for the Indiana Fever. The contact was brutal. Cunningham was knocked to the floor mid-layup, and the referee upgraded the call after reviewing the wind-up, impact, and follow-through. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Carrington didn't just get ejected. Minutes later, she posted the words "white privilege" on social media and tagged the Fever. That's not just a statement, it's a direct accusation, a challenge, and a provocation all rolled into one. But what does that say about her mindset? Was it a calculated move to draw attention to systemic issues, or did it feel like a knee-jerk reaction to a moment of frustration? The line between protest and provocation is razor-thin, and this case blurs it completely. Now, let's talk about intent. Cunningham claims the foul was absolutely intentional, while Carrington's coach, Tyler Marsh, says he didn't think it warranted a flagrant 2 in the moment. But here's the kicker: intent is a tricky thing to parse in split-second moments. When a player is reacting to a fast break, is it possible to separate the physicality of the play from the emotional weight of the moment? And then there's the racial dynamic. Carrington is black, Cunningham is white. The social media post adds a layer of complexity that feels almost preordained. But wait, Cunningham herself says this isn't about race. She points to her own ejection last year for a similar act, arguing that the league's standards are consistent. Yet, the optics here are impossible to ignore. Is this a case of the league being hypocritical, or is it a case of the public interpreting the situation through a racial lens that the players themselves aren't acknowledging? That's the real question. And then there's the broader context. Sophie Cunningham isn't just any player, she's become a vocal figure in the league, particularly on issues like transgender athletes in women's sports. Her comments on that topic have sparked protests outside Fever games, and now she's at the center of another controversy. Is this a coincidence? Or is this the natural consequence of being a high-profile athlete with strong opinions? The WNBA commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, has already signaled that the league will continue discussing transgender participation, which means this incident is part of a larger conversation. But here's what's fascinating: the league's response to Cunningham's social media post seems to be a balancing act. On one hand, they're addressing the fallout; on the other, they're trying to avoid turning this into a racial flashpoint. It's a tightrope walk, and the outcome will shape how the league navigates these issues moving forward. Let's not forget the other side of the story. Caitlin Clark, the Fever's star, got a technical foul that was later rescinded. Her reaction, denying intent, mirrors the narrative around Carrington's play. But the league's decision to rescind the technical suggests a willingness to revisit calls, which raises a deeper question: how much of these rulings are based on the moment, and how much are they influenced by the aftermath? The fact that Cunningham and Clark are both involved in high-profile controversies adds another layer. Are they being held to different standards because of their roles as vocal advocates, or is this just the natural chaos of a league where every action is scrutinized under a microscope? In the end, this incident isn't just about one foul or one post. It's about how sports reflect the world we live in, how race, identity, and accountability collide in ways that feel both personal and political. And here's what I find most intriguing: the players themselves may not see the racial undertones, but the public does. That's the power of social media. It doesn't just amplify voices, it forces conversations that people might otherwise avoid. So, what does this mean for the future of the WNBA? Will this be a moment of reckoning, or just another chapter in the league's ongoing struggle to balance on-court action with off-court activism? I'll leave you with this: the next time you watch a game, pay attention to the moments that feel like they're not just about the sport. Because more often than not, they're about everything else.